Hello, welcome to a brand new video. Something different and something which I think would be quite fun to do. So, as you can see over there, I have a whole collection of otter toys over there, and I'm going to be ranking them. So, I've been collecting these since I was 6, with this one being the first one. It was given by a mate in primary school. And so how I rank these is that the best will be here and my least favourite are going to be here. So yeah, this is just a subjective review of all of them. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about the makes and yeah, etc. So yeah, let's start with the first one. I don't know who this is made by. No, I can't see any labels. Yeah, this one is the only one with a flat tail. Some was like a beanbag kind of make. Basic rope for the whiskers, which aren't always equal. Here's a flatter, and the eyes and nose are often made up of studs. I think this one I kind of like. I think the body shape I prefer in the other ones, but regardless, let's place this one in the middle for now. Alright, so this one is made by Wild Republic. I think this one I must have brought from one of the zoos. So yeah, more of a fixed posture. That's what most of the otters made up of. This one is very loose, but this one you can definitely tell it's fixed. The tail's not very mobile. Because not gonna lie, I do tend to prefer the tails where they're a bit more looser, but yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just like I said, I do prefer small looser tails. I like the body posture though. It's a rather good face as well. Nice thick ears. I tend to prefer that with the others. The netting's or the sewing's a bit more blatant, but well, yeah, it's just okay. Kind of see that throughout. Well, I like the colouring. That doesn't quite. It goes from dark to sunlit light, but yeah, regardless, just nice and soft. That's how most of them are made up of. Has nice, good head as well. Okay. I think because I preferred more straightforward ones. I don't know, because this one looks more professionally made. I guess I'll just put it there for now. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so this is one of the more common ones made by Sumo Collection. Yeah, this is definitely a common make, and they all vary in sizes. And I have all ones that are similar, which we'll get on to. In fact, no, let's try and find them now. 1 second. Where's the last one? There it is. Yeah, so here's all of them, no, sorry, wrong one. There it is. Alright, now I've got them. Alright, so yeah, you can see how all of them are similar. We'll just quickly compare them and that. Alright, so the biggest one of them all, which I kind of prefer. I do prefer the bigger ones, because they almost match the size of them. I kind of prefer the face of the previous one. I guess it must be. It's probably a bit longer, I suppose. The ears are good though. I do like the ears. They have a bit of colouring in them. The beads are, they have a bit more colour to them. Makes them interesting in the light. Pretty good feet as well. I refer to the feet of these ones, and more of a loose tail as well. Yeah, just more of a forward shape, and the netting, despite being visible, it's looks alright. And it's interesting fur work as well. Just very patchy at times. I still would put this one here though. I just kind of prefer the looks of these. As for the others, so this one has the similar patchwork. and this one, yeah, I think they're all made by Sumer, aren't they? Oh, not this one. Despite being a similar shape, this one is made by Ravensden Rushden. Okay, yeah, I vaguely recognise that the make of a toy, especially in the 2000s. Alright, so yeah, like I said, this one similar fieldwork to the last one, and then this one's like a darker, more furry version, and yeah, I quite like the contrast in that one actually. Yeah, I do like the furry look of it, makes it a bit more natural. This one is a bit more in between, although this one you can see how the dots are more visible there, but not so much of this one. So it's in that middle ground. Face wise, you can see how the middle one was similar to the large one, and then once again this one's in between, and this one's a bit more almost I guess just looks rougher, which I kind of like, you know, makes it more natural. And yeah, whiskers made the same. They've carried over the burgundy pupils, and feet are all made the same way. And once again, this one's darker. Okay. Right. So I like the furriness in that one, and then I'm gonna put these two there. I just read out the fur and the way the face is. So yeah, it's just more shorter, rounder faces, which I personally prefer. Alright, next up, this one. It's a upright one, made by Nature Planet. So I think all of these have been brought in zoos, and I think this is no exception. More of another loose tail. This one's more of an upright one. I tend to prefer all four ones, but regardless, it's yeah, pretty good sturdy shape. You know, they definitely can stand upright, which is the most important thing. The ropey whiskers, which I do prefer as well. And yeah, I like the fur's quite good. I like the pattern work. Can't see the stitching as much, which I think makes it a bit better than the others. The arms can be moved about a bit. Quite more flexible toy as well. Like these ones can like bend around a bit, but I feel like it can do way more with this one. I think the face look makes it look a bit more like a vole. And yeah, this one has like a more of a red nose, which yeah, it's fine. I do prefer that with the other ones though. But with this one, which one do I like more? I really like the body in this one. This one I kind of have a more very nostalgic feel for it because of how, you know, how this was the first one in the collection. And yeah, especially with the white and the burgundy as well. Yeah, I really like the look of that one, even though the others are probably more professionally made. I'll put this one here because, like I said, I do prefer more all four ones. Okay, let's go on to the pan puppet next. So this was also quite popular on the internet. Sadly no tail, which kind of bothers the most, but it works as a rather good toy. You know, if you have your position hand like that, it works as a pretty solid toy. It surprisingly still fits my hand, even though it probably fitted better when I was younger. Yeah, it's a quite a more of a furry face, like no lighter fur, not as much colour in the beads. Now it's a softer nose as well, instead of using the nose as a bead as well. And the legs and arms don't have really much detail to it. It's pretty much like a sack, and then there's a more of a detailed head. Yeah, it's endearing in its own way, but in terms of how they look, oh gosh, who do I prefer more? Yeah, I think these ones are definitely more resemble more as an otter, but yeah, let's put this one here. I'm probably going to put that at the end. It's a good functioning puppet, but doesn't really represent otters the best. Now here's one of my favourites. Yeah, this is pretty much like how I rank a a high make, you know, just like a really good sized head, fully resembling of the creature itself. Because yeah, it's on point enough. It has more of a like a dog or wolf kind of face this time when they're normally shorter, but I do still quite like it. Yeah, even though yeah, it's a bit lighter on the fur there, with the rest of it being dark, but I still quite like it regardless. And not to mention, it's there's only the white section there. The feet are also like really nice and thick as well. Makes it quite sturdy as well. And yeah, just a very flexible tail as well. Yeah, just almost just like one of the softest ones. You know, definitely. Yeah, if I was younger, I definitely would have been playing this one the most. Oh yeah, this one. What was the puppet made out of? Can't see the label for this one, unfortunately, but it could have been from the internet. This one is made by Toys Premier Collection, and yeah, I got this from the Chestnut Centre, which still exists, but not as a animal sanctuary anymore, especially with no otters about. And the ears are good, and I really like the rest of the fur as well. Yeah, even though this one is probably like one of the more accurate depictions, I still really like the size and the sturdiness, and yeah, it's just extremely well made. Yeah, I'm never gonna put this one over here, just extremely cool. Alright, so a little one. This one's made by Toys Ltd, and yeah, this is almost like resembling a yeah, I think these toys tend to be quite abstract. Even though zoos mainly have the Asian short-clawed otters, it's yeah, which they tend to be based of, and I would say that some of them are probably based on the Eurasian otters. This one could be like a giant otter, but the ears are definitely not this big, so it could look like a mouse. But I do like, even though it has no paws, I still like the thickness of the legs and in the tail. Yeah, it's probably one of my more favourite smaller ones, and I like the ropey whiskers and even squeezing some colour in the eyes. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the ears, but other than that, it's yeah, I just really like just the forward position and the mobility it has. I might put it here. Yeah. Alright, let's go for another small one. So this is the smallest one. The ears are small this time. The feet are rather thin, which I'm not the biggest fan of. This one's made by Dauman Soft Touch, okay? And then plastic whiskers, they kind of stay there. There's no colour in the pupils. It's a much lighter colour as well. I tend to prefer the darker fur colours. Yeah, because you know, artists tend to have that kind of look more. It's a bit stiff as well compared to the other toys as well. Okay, so yeah, it does well as a small representation of one, but I think I'll still put it all the way over there. I think this line is going to get longer, so make more of an arc and push us back a bit. Alright, next up, I think this one I bought from a zoo as well. It's made by Uni Toys. Yeah, it's a fun position, I suppose, but yeah, I think it doesn't make it as like mobile to play with. This one and the other, yeah, like these ones, you can you know, definitely play with, whether it's like all fours or just the 2 feet. But this one, it does make a bit more awkward to play with because you can't really bend the tail back. You can just have it on his back, which I suppose, like I said, it could be fun, but yeah, I think it just can make it awkward in certain situations. Yeah, because in my collection it's kind of tricky to how to place it. But despite the awkward position, you know, the feet are rather good. Like the netting, no colour in the pupils, and it has quite an accurate face as well. You know, like with the smaller thick ears, and it has like this dark yellow around, which not many toys in this collection have. I kind of like it. Looks a bit more like a stain, but I don't know, it still looks kind of natural. But yeah, despite liking the, it's nice and soft and still good men around the times, but you're not gonna lie, I think the positioning kind of ruins it. Let's put it. Now I might squeeze it in between here. I really like the rough look in that particular otter. Yeah, poor lad, he's just right there. Alright, next up. This one I think is my third ever one. Also made by Diamond Soft Touch, but just like a different logo. This must be them in their early stage. Yeah, this one, it's kind of similar to this one, where it's nice and straightforward, definitely mobile tail, and definitely easy to bend around. Although it's a tad light, and to go for much darker feet, I kind of like it, but I do prefer it when the contrast isn't so sudden, because it, kind of, because it's, yeah, it's just, with the light brown and the white around. Still, yeah, it looks, yeah, definitely has a quite an on point otter shape. It looks probably a little more like a bear because of how the ears are like, but even then, this is still quite bang on, and yeah, I think it's the fur and the contrast which kind of ranks it a bit down, but I do like the mobility of this one. I think I'll still put it there. Yeah, it's a rather neat one. This one is the smaller version of this one. Yeah, Art Toys Premier Collection. Yep, still the same make. Yeah, so if just comparing, it's lighter and smaller. Probably has more of an otter face as well, actually. Yeah, it's not as chunky. Well, I still quite like it. Yeah, it definitely works as a smaller edition, and I think I will still put it there actually. Yeah, I think the only thing it has going for it is that with it being lighter, it makes it easier to move about, and yeah, and I still prefer the darker fur and the scale of this one though. Okay, time for a sea otter. I have two of them. It does have the same kind of problem as this one, but I feel like I don't know, does it stand well? Probably not so much. I saw strangely for it though, because still partially looks like it's standing, but it still would have to lie down. It kind of looks like the otter. It would have a more lighter face though. I do like the Star Edition though, not many tries have the accessories, but still looks rather good. Made by Aurora as well. This one I got from a French zoo, so yeah, it's definitely like an alternative kind of fur. It's almost, it's like very tingly but soft at the same time, and it goes throughout. They're just plain back beads, just normal stained feet, which are rather good and thick. Because of the star being sewn, I probably would have preferred it if it was just tied to one arm, but I guess you can hook it, I suppose. But yeah, even though the stand-up position kind of lets it down, I still rank this. Okay, this is going to be the middle. So I like the forearm position. Yeah, I think I do have a sea otter. That's another one that's far more, it better presents one. Oh, where do I put this one? I think this one at least stands and looks a tad more accurate, maybe. Oh gosh, where do I put this one? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here actually. Yeah, just slightly better than the stand-up one. Yeah, I just think it just has a lot of cool, unique features. Yeah, it just makes it stand out. All right. This one, so an accidental duplicate. The only difference is it just has a bit more hazel. It's slightly bigger, and more consistent with the kind of fur it's placing. Both made by different companies. This one's made by Ravensden PLC, and this one's also made by Suma. Okay, which one? Both the faces are a little bit. Oh, I don't know if there's like an adherent to it, you know, of how fluffy the face is, but they kind of look a tad squished, and they carried over that main pose, which, you know, these ones have. Yeah, they're a bit more mobile. I kind of like the thicker, longer fur better. Yeah, this. So Suma's has slightly rougher fur there compared to this one, and I do like the colour contrast more. So it's definitely better that way. And I think I'll rank it here. I still like the sea otter better. But anyway, let's start making a bit of a arc of them. And there you go. And then let's just push this back a bit further so you can see all of them. What if I... There you go, might be a bit better. So yeah, that's just how it kind of looks so far. It's a bit messy, but oh well. Alright, this one I quite like. So this one I brought in a trip abroad, you know, not even a zoo, but still looks rather neat despite not being made by a zoo. All about nature, so I think this was probably in a, not a charity store, but I think it would still benefit those kind of companies, you know, wants to promote the environment more. Yeah, I quite like it. This has less of a feet, but unlike this one where it's a bit more rounded, this one feels a bit more stodgy in its feet, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it still stands well. It's nice and bouncy, which I like. Has like a nice round head, even blue eyes this time. Most because I'm not the biggest fan of the placement of. I think one of them stuck actually. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, so despite not being the biggest fan of the feet, and the tail's not long, it's just angular, but I partially like it. A nice round head, much bigger nose, just looks a looks a bit angular actually. Oh yeah, it does a bit. I still rank this one high. Like, yeah, this one's like more of a smoother make, and it's also white throughout this time. It's more accurate when it's like there and onwards, but I mean, to have it out like that, it's fine. It's a nice tone of brown as well. Okay, this one I do rank quite high. Which one? Oh gosh, I think I actually prefer liking this one. I think I do have good memories with this one as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Another duplicate. Well, this one has far more differences compared to the last one. This one's made by ZLS. What's that? ZSL, sorry. And then the other one is Aurora, made from Busch Gardens. Okay. So this one's thicker. I do prefer the thicker one, that's for sure. I do really like the stance of these. They have more of a stance of a giant otter, perhaps. Not sure. I also have a feeling like they're partially seal inspired, because some people say the otters and seals are quite similar, which I guess I can see why. Tails have a bit more flick to it, and they're nice and mobile like that. I really like how flexible their legs and the feet are, and how big their feet are as well in contrast with the rest of the body. So I really like that. Yeah, it's an interesting body shape as well, because it had made them have longer necks and like more broad shoulders as well. Yeah, they can nod quite well as well, with the big one not being able to nod as much. Yeah, I really like this one as well. I think I might put these in third place. Still can't see everyone. Never mind. Alright, this small one, made by Ravensden again, but just a different logo. Feet are a bit more round. I like the softness of it. has these nice lenses. The ears I find a bit too big, but I still like the thickness of them. I do prefer the ears when they are a bit brown and white and have a bit more effort to them. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a McDonald's toy. I do remember having McDonald's toys that are a bit like this, but obviously this one has a bit more work to it. Tail's a bit short, but I kind of don't mind it, especially with the rest of the what the body's like. Yeah, no, good shaped nose as well. It has a bit more detail to it actually. Yeah, it's not just absurd, it has that kind of effort in. Very mobile, very light. I quite like it. And do I prefer it compared to this one? I think I do actually. Yeah, that's slotted in here. Yeah, because that one's it still has mobile feet. I think because of more of a beanbag toy has more of an advantage. This one I brought in the garden centre. It's a bit more of a cartoon approach, which it's nice in its own way, but yeah, I do prefer the other ones a bit more. This one's made by T.Y. Mitch, I think that's what it is. Let's have more of a look. Okay. Feet, they're just cardboard cutouts. Not the biggest fan of that. And the muscles are a bit disorganised. The eyes do make it cuter, although this time I have ears down at the side. Also has more of a beanbag approach, but it does make it a bit far more floppy compared to this one. Still nice and mobile. And I guess like having like a lot more space makes it a bit more flexible, which works with what it does. Yeah, I do prefer the more natural looking ones. It also has the bit more of a separation, which I'm not also the biggest fan of either. It starts a smile though, a bit more motion, and which yeah, as a cartoon toy it's good despite the tail being a bit too short. I'm not the biggest fan of the feet. Ears are okay, and the nose is soft as well compared to the rest of the face. So let's put this one. Oh, where do I want to put this? I like the puppet more actually. And where did I place this? Oh yeah, yeah, I think it's not preferred the all ones, and I think it would still go last place, just a couple of over exaggerated features. This one I remember from Egerton Zoo, looks like they're bigger versions of these two small ones. I always like this one bigger because it has a bit more scale, and despite having a bit of a longer face it still resembles an otter well, even with the ears just a tad too prominent. Tail's nice and flexible, arms are fine. I like the simplicity in the feet, even if the other otters have been done better in that way. It has more of a visible mouth as well, which I kind of like. Oh yeah, who was this made by? Oh, Raven's Den again. Mini Suma, so they cooperated? Not sure. Stick work isn't as visible, which I like. Yeah, I think this is still quite well done. This one, oh, I do like it. I do. Or do I prefer the bouncy one more? I think I do. Yeah, I think the bounciness just kind of wins it for me, even though I do prefer the face and the ear a bit more. Yeah, okay, that's alright then. Yeah, let's go on for another unique one. So this is a blue nose version of an otter. What's the name of this one? Because they often have names. Mac number 46. Okay. Yeah, I do quite like these. How the blue nose creatures are represented. Throughout a variety of animals. Because I remember a rhino once, and despite being made up of a a softer plastic material for the horn. I still quite like the look of it. And yeah, even though it's not like the otter's colours, I still really like how it's represented. Yeah, definitely it's like a different approach to go for different colours there, but I think because of how these kind of toys are designed, I still really like it. Yeah, like the softer whiskers, which I prefer, and as these like the pattern parts which are consistent with the rest of the toys, and they make them more like I was about to say more natural, but I'm not sure that's the right word. But even then, I still really like the flexibility. I still really like the contrasted colours. They're very, yeah, even a good town as well. Yeah, it's just they almost have this pattern of putting the dark blues in the forefront like this, and once again the blue nose. I'm not the biggest fan of how close the eyes are together, and there's a bit of a misstitch work with the mouth there, but you know, it's nice to have a visible mouth, I suppose, because that's what a good portion have. But yeah, so I really like how it's represented, even with the ears being a bit too big, and yeah, I just really like the kind of contrast and the flexibility. But yeah, the arms and the legs are a bit, you know, with the legs being far thicker. I still really like it though, you know, it's a bit more of a abstract look. And yeah, it's just I do really like how these blue nose toys are made, which I do prefer this one compared to that wide-eyed one from earlier. Oh gosh, probably, yeah, let's put it in between, like just ahead of the bouncy one. Alright, next up we have this one. So it's similar positioning, except the head's far more turned. That's more of a flexible tail. That's the kind of flipper design I like, or feet design rather. Oh yeah, whiteness goes from there to the head, which is a bit more accurate, which I kind of like. Noses are made out of leather this time. The whiskers are a bit inconsistent from time to time. I'm not the biggest fan of how turned its head is. You know, I do prefer the more forward-looking ones, but it still has like the cool flexibility in that, which yeah, still has those elements I like. But yeah, not gonna lie, I think that kind of knocks it down for me a good few pegs. The face is nice, I suppose. It looks like he's smiling a bit, makes it a bit more endearing. Yeah, I do prefer. Yeah, I think because it does tick some of my boxes, I'm gonna put it there. Because yeah, we've got that otter, the big-eared one, and then the otters at the centre. Okay, we have 5 more to go. The edge is getting a bit big. Yeah, this one's actually rather good. But yeah, by the way, what was the make of this one? All new materials. No, that's definitely not a company name. Anyway, this one, also made by Ravenstern, part of the Eco collection apparently. Okay, some interesting facts. Okay, and it's, yeah, you know, just read very briefly that it's made out of recycled materials, so yeah, I like that. Yeah, just flexible tail. Arms are a bit stubby, but I still like them. You know, still flexible. Has the, you know, the white position which I like. Ears aren't as just about see them, but just not as much as the others. Yeah, I do prefer them where, you know, it's just like an between visibility. The eyes are soft this time, with, yeah, a bit of orange around the centre, and those are much bigger. Makes a bit, yeah, he has more of a smile on. Yeah, because not gonna lie, as time goes on, I kind of lose track of the collection and the later years. So yeah, I think this must be yet another zoo one. Yeah, I don't remember how I brought this one at all. But even then, I still really like it. Okay. Oh gosh. I'd probably put it here just below the bouncy one. Again, yeah, I really like the bouncy one. Oh, you know what, no, I'm going to put that head actually. Yeah, I think I really like how the bodies are like with that one, the blue nose one. There's still like more of, and of course these ones, the big one's still on top. Alright, next up, this one, yeah, also made by Raymond's Den, and this was bought in Colchester Zoo, which, yeah, I remember that one at least. Yeah, because the other zoo ones are bought in like Twycross and Chester and, oh, what was that, one with the W? No, I've lost it. Anyway, so this one is like more of a flatter approach. That's more of a stumpy head. The eyes are more far apart, nose is smaller, makes it a bit more intimidating, and the ears look a bit pointy. But I really like the floppiness of it. Makes it one of the more mobile ones. And yeah, I don't know what it reminds me of. You know, the longer legs and the flatter look. I'm not the biggest fan of the tail. You can see how it's just like overly folded that way, and yeah, the face is a bit too wide, but you know, if going for a flatter otter, then fair enough. Yeah, I think the tail and the head kind of lets down for me, and the legs are a bit basic, but I just really like the flubbiness of it. Yeah, still higher. Yeah, I do have a lot of good memories of this one, so I liked better this one. Oh gosh, I think because it resembles an otter better, I'm going to put it here. Yeah, there's still kind of high rank. Yeah, about here. Okay. On this other small one as well. So yeah, just still one extra, I suppose. Has a bit more shorter tail compared to this one. Also made by Suma, so it's much more smaller. Has a light colour nose this time. Still maintain the colour of the eyes. It's a bit skewer. But you know, it's a shorter one, it's fine. I just do prefer the shorter ones. Feet are just marked and a bit more round. And whites all across. I still like it even if it has the shorter tail, basic feet, and head shape is okay. It's probably a bit long. Is it? Oh, do I think I do have a soft spot for these little ones. Yeah, it's just I think it's just the positioning of the later ones, which yeah, they have like oh, I think they're just a tad too stiff at some places, but these ones are a bit more mobile, and I kind of like the yeah, and I think this one looks a bit yeah, I think it's just the soft spot for them, but I still like this one better, and probably better than this one as well. So after the floppy one, but just in between this first one here. Alright, it's definitely free to go. This one's another favourite. So yeah, it does have the stubbornness of the other one, but I actually just really like it. You know, as it's a bit chunky. It's almost like a chunkier approach, but I just somehow just really like it. This was bought to Centre Parks, probably their own make, made by K&M International. And what's that? Wild Republic. Okay. But yeah, it has these, instead of whiskers, they put these dots, which yeah, it's a different approach. Has the thread from there to there, and the feet are only visible from the bottom, so it just makes it a bit more hefty, almost like a bear approach. But yeah, I like the flexibility. I like how rough it is. Yeah, I think the face is a bit not as otter-accurate as the others, but I do have, like, you know, once again, just a lot of memories, and yeah, I just really like this approach. So, and I think, yeah, I will be jumping to this one more. So yeah, I just really like it. Yeah, just more. Yeah, yeah, it's just what makes it stand out. It's just kind of cool. Not to mention, it has these extra, almost like, you know, it's not the fur covering the eyes either. You can just see there's a bit of material around the eyes. But yeah, I just really like that chunkier approach. Right, so here's the sea otter, the latest one, and as you can tell, it's brought in the Sea Life Centre, one of them anyway. But yeah, just extremely soft, extremely bouncy. It does have that positioning, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but because of how soft it is, and I kind of see it as a better sort of representation compared to this one. And I kind of like the lighter brown with this one as well, which I don't know, because yeah, I think because of how like more light computer it looks, even though this one I probably have decided is a bit more accurate, but even then still like the, you know, like the chunkiness, nice and flexible, much thicker tail, there we go, flexible arms. Yeah, definitely the best one of these back otters, you could say. But yeah, maybe by Sea Life Centre, I can't really think if I see anything else. But yeah, I think I just really like the scale and also just the nice bounciness of it. So I think that still wins it over for me. Let's see. Let's probably rank this high. Yeah, even though there's, you know, it's not like a gradual gradient, I still like it. Okay, where do I put this one? Let's see, the dancer one. This one I like. There's the Blue News one there. It's actually upright, just despite not head looking up. One. Yeah, I think because of the positioning, I think this one's just going to go before the bouncy one, but then after this one, just better representation, better positioning. I like the colours a bit more in that one as well. But yeah, I just really like the softness of it. Alright, last one, and this one's definitely popular. This is actually a doorstop, and it's actually called Oscar. So if I bring it up a tad. So yeah, it's actually doorstopper, and not the biggest fan of how the tail starts, but how long and flexible it is, you know, works quite well there. Actually a fish in there, which is a nice detail. Yeah, this is otter that has clothes, but only the second one to have accessories. And this is made by Dora Designs, Crunchy for Toys. Okay, yeah, so probably made up of natural stuff again. So yeah, this is not really a toy compared to the old ones, but I still like to treat it as such. Well, when I was younger anyway. Design's a bit okay. I'm not the biggest fan of its face shape, and its head's a bit too angular. Has a lighter nose this time. Plastic whiskers are a bit better. It's a bit rough. It's like a rougher material, but not the kind I'm the biggest fan of. They try to go for like a more of a unique design by making this arch thing, which is cool on its own, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. I do prefer it where it's just a bit more accurate there. But you then start the bag and the jacket as well, and you can actually zip it as well, so that's neat. And I think you can actually put things in there as well, say in these pockets. So yeah, I like the jacket, I like the tail, and as an otter-based doormat, yeah, it's fine, not gonna lie. I think I just like the clothes better. Although I think I'll still, yeah, I'll probably put it in front of this one because at least it can stand up, just a nice cool position. Alright, and then that's the final verdict. So if I can switch. Okay, let's see which one's the top ranking ones. So yeah, like I said, I really like this one and the smaller edition, even though it's lighter, I just still really like that kind of look. Then there's this one, just really like the shape of it. There you go. And then I like the position, the posing of these, and you know, and the feet as well. Yeah, I think that what wins it over. Yeah, still like the blue nose next. Yeah, just like really good representation. This one's just very on point with, well, like similar to these ones. So yeah, and a nice face as well. So yeah, that one's good. Yeah, just like the softness and the chunkiness of this one as well. And then yeah, just really like the look of this one. Yeah, and like I said, just good memories and like how bouncy it is. Same with this one, I like the bigger feet and the smoothness of it, so that was next. Also on point with the earlier ones, despite not being too keen on the collar, but still like it. Let's get a bit mixed up here actually. But yeah, I think those ones next, you know, definitely this first one, yeah, it's very nice. And I like the floppy one before, and then still like this one more so than this one. Yeah, that with the black nose and the lighter nose. Yeah, I just still like how it's a bit bigger. And then this one's almost like a nice, cute representation of a small one. I really like the colour contrast, even though the ears are a bit big. And then this one's also like kind of solid, even though it has a bit more of a fixed tail. It's yeah, just still like the overall look. And this one has like really good fur. Yeah, just not the biggest fan of if its feet being a bit preoccupied here, but I still really like the fur, and I guess you can stand it up somewhere, not sure, but even then just very unique in its features. This one has the jacket and a very good doormat overall, so that one's there. Despite the turned head, this one is next, just nice and still forward regardless. These ones are next, just really like the, you know, the tints of hazel throughout, and the fur has like this scruffy look, which I like. But you know, they just kind of remind me of the later ones, which kind of puts them down. The upright one is next. This one stays upright and it's very good with it. And then I like the much furrier one next. Yeah, just has that scruffy look, which I kind of like. So that one's first. I like the bigger version of the remainder, some of the remainder, so that one's next. And then this one I probably like a bit more than this one. Yeah, I just like the fur contrast more. Kind of reminds me of that one, and you know, just the hazel looks of that one. And then oh gosh, who do I like more? Yeah, well, yeah, I had a lot of good memories. Deluxe is a good puppet. It's fine, even though there's not much rest in there. The back positioning, actually no, this one's a bit more otter accurate, even though I'm not the biggest fan of positioning. This one, like I said, just good memory, still works as a very good puppet. And then, despite being the smallest and not the biggest fan of the colouring, it's, yeah, I have a bit more of a soft spot for it. Yeah, just it's a bit too light and solid for my liking, but as the smallest one, it's done a great feat. And then yeah, this one I just put last. Like I said, I just find the features a bit exaggerating. Not really don't like the feet, and but yeah, like I said, it's cartoon approach that works. All right, so yeah, that is the whole collection. So yeah, I've been collecting these for, I say, yeah, nearly 20 years now. So yeah, it is just quite an achievement. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Wow, that is a big collection. I've used to collect them way more when I was younger, but now, yeah, even though it's slowed down, you know, I probably still have probably the biggest collection. yeah, and I'm still gonna collect them. Even this sea life one is the latest one from this year. And so yeah, just let me know what you think of them. You know, I think the criteria is that, you know, just the fur, the uniqueness, the kind of colours, the representation of the animal itself. I think, yeah, that's the more consistent criteria, which I prefer across this lot first, and then this one's just yeah, I think over time it's just the positioning and just a few just not as keen on, but even then this is still like a really good collection. And yeah, I think I'll end it right there. So yeah, just let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll probably post a picture of these as well. Right, I'll see you next time.